friends, so here we are once again. It is my birthday tomorrow, and as I still don't have the ability to go into an office and have a giant food festival, which is what I used to do before the pandemic, I am doing the same thing we did last year. I'm going out into the woods. I'm gonna go camp and ponder my own existence and my inevitable death, because that's what people do on their birthdays. So it's been a while since we talked. Last time I went out and made a video, it was when my back window exploded. I just got my insurance payment for that 3 months later. California casualty, no pukada. But anyway, I just got my truck all back together after a 3-month hiatus. I have added a bunch of stuff. New brakes in the front, I got the spacers. I've got some new gear. I've got some stuff to add to the tent. So we're traveling out into the Coast Range. A little bit different than where I normally go. This is past Horton and up into some towns that don't really exist anymore. Towns like Alpha and Paris, Fisher. We're gonna go up through the Lobster Valley. We're gonna try to find some old cemeteries, a covered bridge, and we're gonna try to find a memorial, I guess is the right term, for a fella who was over 100 years ago, 17-year-old kid. And as the story goes, that I understand it, he traveled out to meet his father from Indiana, Iowa, one of the I-states. He managed to do that without issue. And then his father lived out in the Coast Range, and he wanted to get to civilization to go deliver some mail and see what was up. And so he decided to go out over the range. I mean, he was in the middle, wanted to get further west, going towards Waldport. But the whole thing kind of went sideways on him. He got lost and died. He didn't find him until April of that year. Apparently it was a common trail, and he wasn't that far off of it. But anyway, they put a memorial up there over 100 years ago. It's a wooden one, and every once in a while it disappears. There's supposed to be some posts. I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. But we're going to try to find that as well. I don't really know where I'm camping. I saw a couple roads up there that look like they split off. But we're gonna see what we can find, as is the nature in these types of expeditions. So I am out in Lake Valley. This is actually, I'm right next to the what is this thing called? Roundbarn. So this is Roundbarn, and they are attempting to restore it. And frankly, I don't know that much about it, but I do like it. It's a neat-looking barn. So you may have noticed that the video is coming in much better. That's because I gave in and bought myself another GoPro. After losing my 9 by knocking it into the Stillcoos River off the front of my kayak, I made multiple attempts to recover it, and they all failed. Oh, I think there's Triangle Lake. Ooh, I should have brought my kayak. So I should explain, I'm here at Triangle Lake, and I got myself an extending painter's pole that I have attached my GoPro to. This is just me playing around with the contraption. It was a beautiful day out at Triangle Lake, especially considering it's February. I was hoping to be able to see a fish or some frogs or something, and all I really got to see was some Aladia and the bottom of the dock. Triangle Lake is noisy. This is the town of Deadwood. There was a bunch of overgrown logging equipment right off the side of the road here, which I found to be pretty interesting. I expect the logging museum in Brooks would love to get their hands on all this stuff. Oh, cool! That's a covered bridge in the middle of nowhere. Deadwood Bridge. Weight limit 10 tons. Look out, dog.
So this was the first pair of dogs that decided to waylay me. Black dog hopped up on my window. I think he wanted to go for a ride. I need to start stocking dog treats in the truck when I travel in the Coast Range, I think. Now what we have here is the oldest active commune in the state.
I want to.
This is Alpha, Oregon. I didn't know much about it at the time, but they were on Oregon Field Guide a few years back. I'll link the video below. And with this turn, we are getting into the public lands of the Coast Range. You'll notice the road is actually still paved. I'm not entirely sure why, but a lot of the single-lane roads up here are paved. I expect it's because of all the logging that has been done over the years. I think the money for the logging paid for these roads to get paved. A lot of roads were really well made, although not many people come up here anymore. Not quite sure what these guys are up to. They are on top of a ridge in hip waders. I have some guesses, but it's probably not polite to share them.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tight fit.
One of the concerns I have about getting a lift is that I am just squeaking under a lot of trees that are down like this. 2 or 3 more inches and I'd have to break out the chainsaw.
I'm somewhere where I don't know where I am. It is stupid warm out here. It's like 51. I'm wearing a jacket and it feels totally unnecessary. Let's see, that is east? Wait, no. So if that's west, that's east. So that should be north. Clouds have moved in. I found this nice little spur. If it was later in the day, I'd camp here. But it's not, so I won't. I'm standing up on top of a slash pile here. You got cables and everything. That's how you know it's real. I think I'm gonna keep going though. It's only 2 o'clock. I have like 5 different points to hit. I've only gone through Alpha so far. I don't think I've even been to Fisher. All right, I need to use both my hands. I need to get off the slash pile. Well, I just came off 3509. That's 3505. And I'm gonna go down 3505. So that's all 3505. There's power lines coming up here. I don't know where they're going to. There's also a cross right here. A whole bunch of change on it. And a 9mm that has somehow shot. Oh, I'm not quite sure what happened there. Oh, what's this one? Oh, that's just a quarter. They're all quarters. quarters and pennies. This is, oh man, that's hard. Oh, actually, I can read it. Hulsey. I can actually read it better on the phone. That looks like 19. I don't know, I can't tell on that one. That feels like a 0. People leave pennies here. I guess I better do that.
I reached out to the Forgotten Oregon Facebook group to see if I could learn more about this cross, and wow, did they go after it. Brian McCamish seems to have figured out most of it. It's most likely that this is a memorial for Morris Shepherd Hulsey, who lived in Walport and was born February 1918 and died July 2000. I'll link to Brian's findings. I was surprised that the memorial was so recent. It had weathered very poorly up there in the hills.
Alright, there's a stop sign. It's kind of a conundrum. You got no posted, no trespassing. But over here, you have this sign, which I'm going to go look at. 1890 homestead of William and Elizabeth Summers in Paris, Oregon, which is where we are. These buildings stood behind you near the old cherry tree. Is that one the cherry tree? Can't really tell. I used to have a lumber company. Okay, so this is all knocked down now. Coquille Valley Lumber Company, Paris, Oregon. When was that? Because it is, I mean, that's over there somewhere, but you can't go off the road. Oh yeah, notice the trees. That's the old lumber mill. It's fallen completely into disrepair. I don't think it'll be here much longer. There's a big log lake over on that far side there. Huh. Interesting. You can't go up to where the homestead is because there's a posted no trespassing sign there too. But it's over there. So Paris, Oregon. Apparently there's 2 Paris, Oregons. There's one out in Eastern Oregon. This is the one that's not out in Eastern Oregon, obviously. But yeah, it looks like there's 1 or maybe 2 houses out here. There is no trespassing signs everywhere. I don't even know how I got here, honestly. But we're going to keep going. Side note, I would send up the drone, but I know it would get shot. Oh, look out, dog! Look out, dog! Don't come! No, 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 no! Can't see ya. Oops. There you go. Uh-oh. This guy's still going with me. I'm not sure if you can see in the camera, but we're going for a drive. I forgot he's called chasing cars if he's ahead of me. Aha! I found it!
So this is Fisher School Covered Bridge, and from what I understand, it's kind of a ship of Theseus. Built in 1919, rebuilt in 1927, scheduled for demolition in the 70s, but blocked by the community until 1988, when an engineering team was like, no, really, this needs to be knocked down or totally rebuilt. So they rebuilt it in 2004 and started letting one-way traffic across for no real reason, except because it's fun to drive across a covered bridge, and I can respect that. So these are the last vehicles I was to see before leaving the hills. Now, this was on a weekday, and the only other people I saw were the hip waiter guys and that one state rig. On the weekend, I'm sure it would be more crowded with people doing the same thing I'm doing, but it seems notable that I didn't come across any logging operation. In fact, nowadays I see more trucks like these in mountaintop gravel pits. Interesting what with all the quasi-ghost towns we're going through that were all logging towns.
There it is. So I stopped at this intersection because it was the intersection before the one I was expecting to find the grave. And a friend of mine was out here and he's like, yeah, it's not there. And I saw some other people say it wasn't there. It's because Google has the wrong location for it. We are right now, let's see, the intersection of, that's 37. That's 5,800. Yeah, so that's 5,800. It goes from there to there. But this is 37, which isn't even the full number. It's just part of it, but it comes up this way. So anyway, I hop out of my truck and I'm looking around this intersection. You're seeing it behind me. And I'm like, it's not really a good spot for where that would be. And then I walk a couple steps forward, and what do I find? There it is. So I don't have the full story. I have the hackneyed story. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up now, and I'll let the voiceover do the work.
So there was a lot of inconsistent and missing information about Lyman Medeiros in his short life. He was born in Indiana in January of 1918 to Samuel and Anna Medeiros. At some point, possibly around 1908 or 1910, his father Samuel moved to Oregon to work as a tree planter for the Forest Service. He was living in the area of 10 Mile Creek near the coast. In 1915, when Lyman was 16, he went to visit his father. His mother had apparently died before his trip west, and he had an older brother and sister of which I couldn't find any details aside from their names. Somehow Lyman made it all the way from Indiana to Oregon in 1915 to his father's home. Then around January 15, 1916, he decided to go inland, maybe looking for work or to get mail, no one seems to know. On this trip, there was a snowstorm, and he perished on the top of a ridge. His body wasn't found until the following April, and the searchers buried him where he was found. His father died a few years later in 1922. Samuel's wooden grave marker is about 6 miles west, where his homestead was thought to be. Looking at the map, if he intended to get to the Willamette Valley, he had a long way to go and over much of the same territory I had traveled up until this point. I should note the Google map has been corrected in case you want to visit.
So I come down here, I park up here, which is just a regular gravel thing. But then I see this little road down here. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. What a great little place to camp. I mean, this is gorgeous. You can't really get much better on the Cascades with this. But then I walk over here, and there's this trailer. And it's got propane and gasoline and tarp and a bunch of stuff in it. Rope, slidey things. So now I go, well, is this somebody else's campsite? Or they just leave it up here? And that fire pit is very wet. So that's nobody, I think, was camped here recently. So, do I camp here? The possibility that these guys will come back. I should check the mud. See how wet the mud is on this thing. That's pretty wet. Must be a stolen trailer they dumped out here. It's a neat location. You know, I think we'll find somewhere different today, just because property out on its own in the middle of the woods makes me apprehensive. So we'll keep going down the road, but I will want to come back here someday. This is 21 miles off the highway, so we'll keep this one in mind for the future.
So this is where Indian Creek Cemetery is, and I intended to go there, but there were a lot of giant, homemade, and overly detailed no trespassing signs on the road. So you'll see I'm stopping, I'm looking, and I continue on.
Well, I just found this hiking trail. I have no idea where the hell I am. Apparently it's the Pond Trail. North Fork of the Sayusla. It's a loop. Motor vehicles prohibited. Which would be a pretty good trick. Now you do a dirt bike. Minerva. Oh, I think we're going to Minerva. Well, at some point, I'm guessing that's something like this. It's a big rock. All right. Geez, now what do? It's after 5. It's starting to get dark. In the bottom of a valley. Nothing saying I can't turn around and just camp here. The creek is kind of stinky though. Also, why do they have a bridge with only one side? I mean, it was designed that way. Oh, I don't know. So now, of course, the question is, do I swing around the truck, park backwards, and just camp here in this parking lot? Not quite level. I don't know, man. Looks like there's a narrow bridge there. It goes back into another road. Well, in a move that shouldn't surprise anybody. North Fork Dispersed Camp is closed. Not like it would take much to get through that, but I mean, could I park out front? It's a dispersed camp. Closed for the season. What season is that? It's dispersed. See, that's a nice camp spot. That's number 1. This is number 2. Also, looks like it closed from October 1st to May 1st. Apparently it's okay to walk in here though. Yeah, not a bad campsite. Except, oh, this one's got, the trees are spray painted with bodies. And there's a lot of garbage around here. Looks like they didn't clean it up at the end of the season. Maybe they've been breaking in. It smells chemical. I don't know what that is. But I don't know.
This is the town of Minerva, or what's left of it. As far as I can tell, it's a few pretty big houses, possibly a volunteer fire station, and a road called Dick Way, which makes me snicker because I'm a child. From here, we are going to go over another range, and then, well, that was the end of my plans. Oh, that's a bouncy. Back on 36. Adam.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Hey, I got a weird request for you.
What's that?
So I've been driving for like, I don't know, 8 hours. I'm just by Mapleton, and I was gonna go camping tonight, but I couldn't find a place to camp in like the woods.
I wanted to see if you would be okay with me camping in your packed field there.
I mean, yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. Well, then I'll do that.
Okay. I'll do that.
Alright, I'll come by and say hi, and then I'll drive up, okay? There's the trail now. It's over there. So, in my tent, I have found a place to sleep. I'm cheating a little bit because I'm not actually in... Well, am I in the Coast Range? I'm barely in the Coast Range. I got out of the mountains and got back down onto 126 in Mapleton, and it was dark. And I couldn't find a place to camp, and I was back on the main road, and going back up into the mountains after it was dark seemed like a poor idea. So I called up a couple friends, and one of my friends has a farm, and he has some acreage up behind it. He said, yeah, sure, you can go camp up there. So that's where I am right now, and I'll show you some drone footage later on. But thank you very much, Adam, for letting me camp here. Calling it 6 o'clock and then showing up, driving into your backyard. Anyway, so I'm here. I'm all set up. The frustrating part is I wanted to do some cold weather camping, and it is 55 degrees out. And in fact, I brought this, which is a electric blanket. And not the... Where's the plug here? Not the kind that you... This is a regular home electric blanket. With the regular plug. And Overland Pacific Northwest show this really cool thing about winter camping is that you put your Jackery inside a cooler, and that will keep it warm because the batteries don't work quite as well when they're cold. And it's 55 degrees out, so that's not really necessary. Nor is the electric blanket at all. I might try it. My understanding is initially it jumps up to like 300 watts, and then you can actually run it all night. So I might just put it on the lowest setting just to see how it works. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going to do some night photography. There's some pretty good stars out right now. We are close enough to Eugene where you can see its glow using the night photography. That's not ideal. So I am excited because I get to do some reading of this book. This is Deep Dive by Ron Walters. Ron Walters and I went to high school together, and him and his brothers were very good friends of mine growing up. And both of us wanted to become published authors, and Ron did it. So this book is... I haven't read it yet. I only know the synopsis. Essentially, it's VR related. It's a father's a video game designer, and he gets... I'm guessing he gets sucked into his VR game. I haven't got that far. I'm excited. I'm so happy for him. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. And if that sounds interesting to you, you should get this book too. It's nice. I'm hearing all sorts of weird bird cries. It may have been a cat. But it was supposed to be cloudy, but it turns out it's more of a foggy day. Oh, hey, blue sky's poking through. That's nice. Go for a bit of a walk. I think I want to go this way. So this is where I went up last night. I think I tore it up more than I intended to. Ooh, there's a couple prints in here. This is not going to work well. Hello friends. Well, camping is complete. I'm rolling home. I'm rolling out of my friend's backyard first. I got to visit a lot of places I wanted to visit. Didn't get to camp the way I wanted to. But frankly, I think this turned out better anyway. When I'm solo, I like to camp someplace where I feel safe. First gear. And I feel safe in Adams Field. That's all I got. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Like, subscribe, punch somebody in the face, wrestle bears, drink milk, be young. What else I got? I'm just gonna see rattling things off and putting them in over the credits. But don't leave the thermostat too high. Don't leave the refrigerator open. Rotate your tires every 5,000 miles. Don't do drugs, except the good ones. If you have kids, get a membership to your local children's museum, because they very well will have reciprocating museum things. It's pretty cool. Buy land. Take roads that look like nobody's been on them. Don't take roads that look like meth heads have been on them. Get an electric vehicle. That's gonna piss people off saying that, but follow my Instagram. I post a lot of shit on there. Pick up litter. Blinker, then brake. Can't emphasize that one enough. Stay out of the left lane unless you are passing. I'm driving right now, so it's gonna be a lot of driving advice. If you want a sticker, I'll give you a sticker. I will send it to you, but you have to promise to put it on your vehicle, and I want a picture of it. Learn to repair your own appliances. Modern appliances are mostly just plug and play parts, so you can just order the parts and plug them in yourself. It's not difficult. That said, water heaters should just be replaced. Be nice to people. don't endlessly blather to cameras.